Tell us who you are, where you at, what farm it is.
Okay, Adam Myers. We're in Seymour, Indiana. We grow tomatoes for Red Gold. We're one of about 40 growers that collectively grow about 10,000 acres of processing tomatoes. So since these are mechanically harvested, we just get one shot, so we're trying to pick the time that we can get the majority of them. So how it works, when the harvester cuts off the plant, it goes through a shaker which shakes all the fruit off. So you can see here, this is about the fruit off of one plant might look like. Although it's got an electronic color sorter that'll kick a lot of the green and pale ones off, but most of these red ones would make it on the truck. We kind of wait till the time that we feel like if we wait any longer, we're gonna lose more than what we're gonna gain. So on top of that, we've got to work around the factory, what their capacity is and whatnot. So once some of them start to turn red, there's a ripening agent that we can spray on them to try to turn the other ones, and we can tell when it's mature enough to do that just by if we cut them in half, and if we're still cutting a seed in half, the plant is not mature enough to accept that ripener. Anyway, so some of these are still at least 2 weeks off from being a red tomato.
So you spray that out here in the field, or before they harvest?
Yeah. Once about 90% of them have turned red or would take that ripening agent, we'll spray it and wait 2 weeks. And that's typically when we would start our harvest. So there's 6 or 8 varieties, or there's 8 varieties over 160 acres that we grow. So when the machine comes back, we ought to climb on there. I kind of show how that works.
That'd be awesome. You don't normally have this much drop through, or do you? Yeah.
It's the fruit this year is pretty small, so that naturally they don't want these real small ones. So there's probably an excessive amount of small green fruit. Blaming a lot of that on the hot nights that we got back in July, basically.
What kind of fertility program do you have to put under tomatoes?
A lot. So we come in at pre-plant and apply a mixture of everything basically, and then we come back at the first flower and side dress them again, and then we're fertigating, and also as we spray at least once a week for bacteria and fungus. Sometimes we'll do some foliar stuff then. So we'll tissue test every couple of weeks, just like we would our corn and soybeans. So.
Are those your carts, or is that theirs?
We have some of our own trailers set up. The ones you're looking at now that say RG on them are owned by Red Gold.
Oh, okay.
Each load comes with about 250 miles of trucking round the trip to get to the factory. Red Gold has 3 factories, which collectively, I think at max capacity, can put close to 500 semi-loads in a can per day.
How many tons do you think's on that one cart?
They'll pay you up to 25 tons per semi. If you bring them more than that, you only get paid for 25.
Oh
So
my.
we average about 23 tons, between 23 and 24 tons per semi.
Wow. And then how do you guys plant these? Like a transplanter or something?
Yes, yeah. We're planting just a small plant, kind of like a tobacco setter. The population is about 10,000 plants per acre. So we plant them on twin rows on 5-foot beds. Our planter is a 5 bed, so it covers 25 feet at a time. We can plant about 20 acres a day.
Wow. Is that for the machine that you're doing it for when you harvest it, or just to get through it, or
What's that?
that you plant it that way? Is there spaces between the rows?
Yes, yeah, it's hard to see. Yeah, looks like there's a row here and a row here. I think these are 18 inches apart and 60 inches over there. Do the
Gotcha.
same thing.
Gotcha. All right. Probably a little bit pricey machine, ain't it? But how many years have you been growing tomatoes?
16 or
Wow.
17.
Yeah?
I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. Squeeze through here and then we'll jump on the machine.
All right.